I didn't touch Windows.
Welcome to the Four Horsemen Comics and Gaming. We're in round 1 of 6 here of the Standard State Championships. Paul Mills on Blue-Red Control versus Chris McKinney on Green-Black Aristocrats.
I definitely say, and we should probably go through our names. I am Y. Gehring, your greatest commentator ever.
And I'm Mitch Depker, the second greatest commentator ever. Y. Gehring kind of took that spot from me. But we see a Jace here from Paul, and this might be a hard deck for Chris McKinney this might be a hard card for Chris McKinney to deal with. No real way to actually deal with this card in the main deck.
I mean, all in all, I just feel like the Blue-Red Control list itself is a hard deck to deal with. It's just an awkward deck to play against, I think.
Yeah, I agree. It's
one of the decks I was really hoping to get to watch today. Big fan of the deck. The one thing is, I am a fan of Paul's list where he is playing Thing of the Ice on the main board. I have seen lists where they're not playing that main board and rather in the side, as well as Jory N in the main board. And we do see a Thing of the Ice from Paul.
Yeah, so the Chris McKinney watched the Pro Tour yesterday. I got a chance to talk to him a little bit yesterday. Resident Four Horsemen gamer, and he basically just built the deck that LSV was playing at the Pro Tour yesterday.
Exact same 75?
Well, deck lists aren't really published, so you kind of have to guess and check. But
fair.
Yeah, so we'll see. I don't know how many Kozilek's turns does he? Is he mainboarding any?
He is mainboarding 2 Kozilek's returns.
Yeah, so that literally will kill everything in Chris's deck minus Nantuko Husk. That has to, that
with sacrifice. Yep. And we see a Fire Temper
on the Zulaport Cutthroat. Yeah, always that's always the first creature you kill. Definitely have to get that thing off the board.
Going after the Cutthroat, bringing Chris McKinney to 21, and Paul losing 1. I believe Cutthroat lose 1, gain 1.
Yep. Yeah, well, we're going to do our best to keep track of life totals. We have a spotter this time around as opposed to yesterday. It was try to provide the most insightful commentary while also keeping track of life. It's actually quite difficult, so we're going to do our best here. Would you agree with that?
I would totally agree with that. Yeah. It is a lot harder just to watch the game and tell exactly what life totals are than when you're actually playing.
Yeah, Chris McKinney opting not to cast any spells to flip his Duskwatch Recruiter, and I think that means we might see a collected company here on the way. Yeah, if you're Paul, this seems like a pretty decent spot to jam Goggles as well. The Blue-Red Control deck, I mean, especially with Goggles online.
We do not see him doing anything with Goggles yet. So if his only spell he could be casting would be Magmatic Insight. However, Paul must not have either land in his hand or does not have the Magmatic Insight.
Yeah, past the turn, looks like we're going to see a collected company here. Catacomb Sifter, that's not a bad hit. Blister Pod, a little bit underwhelming. Paul going to stop him here, still in the end step. We might see, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, Paul's just going to let him on tap. Yep, not really too much you can do.
Can get the double, was it Fire Impulse? Could Fire Impulse 2 of them away. Not really sure. Could just save it for combat here. Or save his Jace activation.
Yeah, I think this is
Jace activate. Get the block, Jace activate.
Yeah.
Get the flip. Yep.
I think this is going to be the point in the game where it's going to be real tough for McKinney to win. Obviously, he can still do it with multiple Zulaport Cutthroats, as we see one here already.
The second one. Not two out at once, but those are the second Cutthroat.
Yeah, we might even see a discard of Fiery Temper. I guess a little bit of missequencing by Paul, but yeah, we're going to discard. No, not missequencing. Yeah, that's correct. And gonna get a scry one though here if you're Chris. But I was gonna say, this is the point in the game if you're Chris, where it's looking like it's gonna be pretty hard to win. Beat Active Goggles.
I can't say enough good things about this deck. I love the Goggles deck.
You're a big fan.
I'm a huge fan of the Goggles. I just love how like people are like, this is just a bulk mythic. It's gonna be bad. There's a home for every bulk mythic.
Yeah. Do we know if Paul did that in response to the Zulaport Cutthroat or not? I believe he would have. But if not, then life total should be correct. So yeah, there's a Chandra. This should just clean up the board, and we might be going to game 2 here real soon, real soon.
Let's see what Paul does. Most likely, just take it down, get rid of everything. You lose some life, but
yeah, I think this is it's a price you're gonna have to pay if you're Paul. There's no real problem with that. Is clearing the board is definitely something that we want to do. We're going to get 2 1/1s though from Blister Pod. So yeah, still can't. Yeah, we have a thing in the ice, so we still can't even really take down any of these Planeswalkers.
I really don't know what Chris looks like. He has now 2 cards in hand. I don't
Yeah,
really know if there's anything you could draw here.
Yeah, you need some sort of collected companies. The blue-red goggles deck, when it gets, like we keep saying, the active goggles, it's really good at 2 for 1-ing, even sometimes 3 for 1-ing your opponent. And I'm sure we're just one big fall of the Titans away from this game being over pretty quickly. Same time, Chris McKinney at 26 life has a lot of life to work with. But yeah, kind of running out of gas here.
Definitely. I mean, we see him only play a land. What could he be holding up? Could be saving a collecting company for instant speed at the end of Paul's turn, or in responsive.
That's I guess it's important to note that if he is able to stick Chris's a bunch of creatures, you can actually see he's playing a 1 of Liliana's Indignation. And I'm not too sure where he decided to get that, but yeah, let's see if we can pull that card up for you here. Yeah, so you put the top X cards of your library into your graveyard, and target player is going to lose X life for each creature card, and there's no shortage of creatures in this black-green collected company deck. So I think if you're Chris, that would be the way you want to win. I guess we're seeing double Elvish Visionary here. So.
I mean, you just want winning anyway is fine, but that way would be very spicy. Be the spiciest.
The spiciest of ways to win.
For this matchup, yes.
Yeah.
However, Paul
it might actually be how you have to win this matchup. Your creatures just aren't going to stick around long enough.
They're not.
Oh, so we were well off on life totals.
We were well off. Cutthroat.
Yeah, so I imagine he did that in response to the Cutthroat a while ago. We'll get that updated for you. So there's a big fall of the Titans, as we were saying, for I believe 6. I believe that's going to put Chris McKinney down to 5. And I guess with active Jace on board, we're not Oh, and yeah, I guess in
There's
the swing thing in the eyesore. I guess he woke up, didn't he?
He
So,
woke up.
yeah, we're on to game 2.
He's the awakened horror.
So talk about the sideboard here for you have Paul. What is he bringing? What is he bringing in?
All right, we have Paul. He's got 4 negates on the side, 2 dispel, 1 Chandra, 4 fevered visions, another Jorian, and a rending volley on the side. Rending volley not doing much here. I don't think Jorian really gets you there. I definitely think you're gonna want to bring in some definite counter spells. So your dispels and your negates to get rid of your collected companies from McKinney, as well as we saw in the first game, Chandra just coming down, getting rid of everything.
Okay, so if you're Chris McKinney here, you have 1 copy of Tireless Tracker, 2 Kalidas, 2 Fleshbag Marauder, 2 Ultimate Price, a Transgress the Mind, 3 Duress, 2 copies of Ulenwald Mysteries, and 2 copies of Den Protector. So cards I like, I think the Transgress the Mind and the Duress are obvious cards that come in.
Yeah, get the goggles before they
yeah.
can even resolve them.
And yeah, there's really no shortage of non-creature spells for Paul. And I think the Den Protector might also come in as a source of card advantage, trying to keep up with the card advantage that Paul's going to generate throughout the game in any sort of way possible.
The only thing without the Den Protector is Paul's deck, as we saw, can just easily 2 for 1 and get rid of the Den Protector before you get the flip 2. So
yeah, I mean, I think in the late game though, if the game does go late, obviously it favors Paul. So maybe you make a good point. Maybe you don't bring in the Den Protector, trying to get him dead as quick as possible. I haven't really gotten a chance to really see this deck on camera all too much. Obviously, saw some camera time at the Pro Tour, but as far as the ins and outs of it and what it's trying to do in this matchup, I'm a little bit unsure of.
I don't really know what I can say about the same thing. I haven't seen too much on the green black Aristocrats deck yet, other than
I think you might be the best Westvale Abbey deck in the format.
I would agree with that.
Because you're
you have
competing
no
with,
downside to sacrificing.
Yeah, so you're
anything.
competing with green-white tokens, which is the other deck I would consider the best Westvale Abbey deck in the format. Those two. But you get Kalidas in the sideboard, and when they sack those 5 creatures to Westvale Abbey, Kalidas is going to do a lot of work.
True. The biggest thing is Kalidas really works if you're playing against the Westvale Abbey, because Kalidas, you get the token on your opponent's creature dying.
Yeah, so when you sack all the creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying now?
I get what you're saying, I think.
It's round 1.
It's round 1.
We'll be better.
We had to be up way too early this morning.
I'm good to go. You're not good to go?
It's a bold statement.
What? I think I'm good to go. You continue to drink your coffee. We'll hopefully be awake by this next game.
I hope so. I really hope so. And hopefully we can make it all the way through the 6 rounds.
Oh, I think we got this. We're not. It's not like we're locked up here or anything.
No, we're forced here.
We get free food and water.
Maybe we should just stomp on the floor and demand people, because they'll hear us. They'll come up and be like, "What do you want?" And demand they bring us food.
I suggested walkie-talkies, but we weren't good enough for that.
What is this? Early 2000s breaking technology?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You didn't want. I guess.
I got the sexy side walkie-talkies, guys.
We'd all have code names. It was gonna be sweet. 4 Horsemen Comics and Gamings though, they're really going all out this year.
They are. I mean,
maybe not with their selection of the stream team per se, but as far as actually streaming the event, and bringing in vendors. I know we have a couple great vendors here
We
with
have
us.
Zach sells magic, and who's the other vendor?
I don't remember. I'm sure we'll get a pitch here later on.
We will get a pitch here later on. And we do have Four Horsemen Comics and Gamings. I mean, they're a vendor.
Yeah, there's something.
They they have a few cards.
It's not like their names are on the playmats and up in the top left-hand corner of your screen, and everything's black and red, Four Horsemen colors.
Nah,
We're wearing Four Horsemen t-shirts. They're okay.
they're okay. Not paid for.
Looks like
Alright.
Paul accidentally knocked over one of his cards, so we're gonna get a. Actually, that should be a quick shuffling. I don't know if he's drawn 7 yet, but yeah, okay. So it'd be interesting to see how well Chris McKinney curves out, I think, in this game. I think if you want a chance in this blue-red control matchup, it's going to involve curving out, and it's going to involve a critical mass of creatures along with the crypto with rights.
Yeah, get you there faster. The one thing I definitely don't know how much Chris will be leaving. The Liliana definitely benefits you to recur your graveyard, but after that, it just fuels Paul Mills' madness with his deck for the. I mean, if you wanted to follow if you have the active goggles, follow the Titan madness at or
Surge.
No, follow the Surge, not madness. My bad. As well, but the Fairy Impulse.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep talking.
Oh, Ulvenwald Mysteries. Huge fan of that card.
Yeah, so
Huge fan of the draft.
he might bring in the Owen Mysteries. He's going to have a lot of creatures die in this matchup.
Yeah. We are about to get that up for you guys too. Ulvenwald.
Yeah, so whenever non-taken creature you control dies, investigate. So it's just another card that's going to try to keep him up in card advantage. And the 1/1 human could actually be relevant.
Could be very relevant, especially if you need to keep up for your Cutthroat. You sack to your Antuka Husk, fueling your Cutthroat, get the token, sack again, continuing your Cutthroat. Alright, and I do believe we have all issues resolved.
It looks like we're ready to rock and roll. I'm ready for some magic.
I'm ready for some blue-red control.
Yeah, you can't be biased, Wyatt.
I could totally be biased.
You can be a fan
of the deck. It's my bias, and I want it now.
The deck is obviously sweet, but this green-black Aristocrats deck.
Also solid. The biggest thing with it is, since it just popped up this weekend, we're seeing it do really well at the Pro Tour. So we definitely see that it does have potential to continue going on.
Yeah, so it kind of reminds me of the, as we see Paul Mills here pitch a Drown Yard Temple to Magmatic Insight. Kind of a cute little combo. Put you ahead a little bit.
You can always bring that Drown Yard Temple back if you need it.
But we see the green-black Aristocrats deck kind of remind me of the old the Aristocrats deck of last standard.
With Rally of the Ancestors.
Yeah, so those decks started off being, we had, there's black-green Aristocrats, there's blue-black Aristocrats, and those decks, they were kind of like tier 0 of what I consider the rally decks.
Okay.
And that rally deck ended up becoming the best deck
in standard
and
for a while.
standard, last standard. So I think we're just kind of reverting back to, hey,
I like
rally's gone.
sacrificing things,
Some of these, I like sacrificing things.
gaining life, making you lose life. And we see a lava axe discard or lightning axe discarding
Lightning axe,
the temper.
discard fiery temper, and yep, these are the kind of plays Paul makes to get ahead. I was talking earlier about the blue-red control deck is the best deck at 2-for-2ing your opponent in the format.
We don't need 2 for 1s.
Well, so it's kind of like a 2-for-1. You're pitching, you're pitching a card to lightning axe anyway. If that card happens to be a fiery temper, might as well give it madness and kill 2 things. So we saw no third play here for Chris.
Could be saving a collected company for the end of turn. Sack the spawn.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
And I was interested to see how many dispels Paul actually brought in.
I would say probably brought all of them in.
You don't want too many counter spells. I mean, there's only I think Negate's better. Negate's hits Cryptolithrites.
True.
But
the dispel does only hit the collected company.
Yeah, there's only 2 though, but at the same time, there's only 4 instants in the entire deck.
The other one,
at least in the main board.
I'm not sure how well Chris can actually deal with a woken horror after the thing in the ice transforms.
Definitely can't. You could set up a scenario where he sacks enough creatures.
That, but I'm also thinking he could possibly be bringing in ultimate price, not just to deal with the thing in the ice, but also Jace.
Yeah, absolutely. Have to get that card off the battlefield. We have no real way of dealing with a flip Jace. So we see a Westvale Abbey here for Chris. Kind of a ways away from that, but Paul and Blue Red Control, no real ways to
interact with that.
Yeah, besides the Awoken Horror, I guess. If you consider that as a way to interact with it. So I believe free attack. I believe Paul's just going to take 1 down to 15.
What about Catacomb Sifter too?
What?
Paul's on 13.
Paul's at 13?
Yep.
You didn't block the Catacomb Sifter?
Did not block the Catacomb Sifter there. Opted not to.
Okay.
I mean, it seems fine. He's still at 13.
Yeah.
You don't want to risk choosing not to risk giving up the thing in the ice.
And here we see a Liliana for Chris. A pretty good card. This card just keeps. I think every time I check it, this card is spiked in price.
It had in the first original rally deck back whenever the near and dear to my heart devotion decks were around, and the first rally the Ancestors decks really came around. They were playing a lot of Liliana. She was way up there for a while, and she dropped out, and she's making her comeback.
So we see a Jorian and pass. So no 1-mana spell to really generate some card advantage, but I'm sure next turn we'll see some multiple spells a turn, as we're going to be a land short of casting Chandra to clean up this board a little bit.
If he hits his land drop, because we have seen Paul miss a few land drops now, using end of Chris's turn to bring back his Drown Yard Temple.
Mm-hmm. So there's the Den Protector. I believe it's the only flip card in this deck, only morph in the deck. So, and getting in there again. A couple more free attacks. Jorian 2/3, I believe. Yep. So
let's see what Paul does here.
Yeah, I think if you're Paul, I think you just block the 2 biggest creatures. Chris is going to gain the life regardless. So, okay, maybe we have a.
I'm not 100%. I mean, never mind. I'm fine with that block seems okay.
Yeah, it's okay. We get to kill a Scion token.
And we don't. He doesn't lose the Sifter
At the same time, we're
because
just gonna
so Liliana never flips.
we're just gonna unmorph it and scry and probably get back this collected company and yeah, seems like a pretty good play here for Chris.
Gets back collected company.
So if you're Paul, what do you think you're looking for here? More lands to get to Chandra? If not lands to get to Chandra, what? I should say. You don't know?
Oh, sorry. I was
Yeah, I know. This is
getting a
hard.
score up. No, I was actually just getting a score update.
Were we right? So close. I don't think that's right.
Oh, our spotters just not hooking us up here.
Yeah, I think we may have been right. We're gonna put Chris back up to 20. I think he gained. I don't think he's lost any life. So yeah, we're just gonna hard cast this Fiery Impulse on Liliana. Try to get that out of there.
That is not really what this deck wants to do.
It looks like Chris missed a scry trigger that could end up being pretty big as we hit an Elvish Visionary, so it's not too bad.
It was he'd left that on top. Possibly. I don't know what's in his hand though. I mean,
yeah, I think if you're Chris, if he has a Dispel, he has a Dispel, but I think you just cast his Collected Company again. Or yeah, play the Elvish Visionary first. Got lucky and hit that land. Swinging for 3.
3 cannot be blocked.
Down to 8.
Cannot be blocked. Of course, 10 protectors cannot be blocked by creatures with power less than 10 protectors.
Yeah, it looks like Chris opting not to play into any sort of Dispel that Paul might have. We're just gonna keep flooding the board. And there's a Zulaport Cutthroat. Yeah, that's a good play by Chris. If Paul wants to deal with any creatures, he's gonna have to deal with that one first.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I looked away for a sec. We can't even look away for a sec because now we see a Zulaport and
Yep, there's the
ultimate price that I was talking about.
We were alluding to earlier.
Can't even look away though. I look away and
yeah,
I see
Paul really needed to hit some land drops. Might be sandbagging a Kozilek's return though. I think I see.
Seems completely fine here.
Yeah, it's not going to deal with the Catacomb Sifter though. So at the same time, he's going to take 3 down to 5, and then 2 more down to 3. He also has the Jorian to block, so. Yep, there's the Kozilek's return.
Kozilek's return.
Alright,
so he gives up the Jorian, but I think it's fine. Give up the Jorian, get rid of everything he controls, though. We could see, because Chris has not played that Collected Company in hand.
Yeah, I think we
don't see it in response to the Kozilek's return, but we could see it after the return.
Mm-hmm. Although it is interesting that Chris played around Dispel last turn. See if he does it again.
What do we see from?
Yeah, he's thinking about it. He's thinking about casting this Collected Company.
I don't know if I cast it in response though.
Well, actually, if we hit a Zulaport Cutthroat here, I believe we just win the game. So.
True. Hadn't thought of that.
Looks like we have completely bricked.
6 lands. It looked like.
So, yep, Paul's going to take 3, and Chris will gain 3. And then these creatures will trade off. Chris will get to scry.
Yep, scry 3.
Yep. Looking for more collected companies, and I think we see a Duskwatch recruiter. He's pondering over. He can't get too greedy, I guess.
I could also be looking for that Liliana's Indignation.
Mm-hmm.
That just ends the game here.
Yeah, very well could. He did just whiff on collected companies, so I'm sure there's 6 creatures that he's about to draw right now. That's usually how my collected companies work. All 6 of them, they're below the lands.
The Duskwatch Recruiter. The other thing, though, he may not. Nope, that's the last card in his hand. Another Westvale Abbey.
Yep.
And we see a
hard
cast Fiery Impulse.
Temper.
Mobby.
And looks like we hit a Nantuko Husk that Chris will grab.
Let's see.
Yeah, I think I may have liked doing that right away as I played the Duskwatch Recruiter. Maybe hit a 2-drop that I could also play this turn as well with Paul at 5. Just need to get him as dead as soon as possible.
I don't know. I almost feel like you want to hold up the Husk. Sure, you do put pressure, but until you have another creature, your Husk is.
Well, I'm not saying with the Husk. I'm saying if you hit a 2-drop creature. And yeah, it looks like we have a Nantuko Husk and a Liliana here coming. So.
Which I just saw it in Paul's hand. He is holding another Kozilek's Return in hand.
Oh, brutal.
So. Paul knows he has the Nantuko Husk, so I mean the cool thing here is that he can cast the the Kozilek's Return, respond, sacrifice the Liliana, and still have a 3/3, and have his Nantuko Husk stick around.
Mm-hmm. I believe you can also sack the Nantuko Husk to itself
and flip Liliana.
He's going to lose the 2/2 zombie. But he will have an active. Yep. So that looks like that's what he's going to do.
I mean, seems fair. He can now Liliana and bring something back from his graveyard.
Oh, he still gets. Wait, does he get the 2/2? I guess he can stack the triggers in a way.
The trigger, he should not have the zombie token, I do believe. Because Liliana should be flipped in response to the resolution of Kozilek's Return.
Oh, there's a Chandra anyway, so.
I can go check down there with the.
It might not matter.
True. However, could just because he could be taking 2 on the backswing, or Chandra could. Chandra will end the game too if he does not deal with it.
Well, we have a judge at the table. I would assume they got this right.
What do you do if you're Chris here? Do you just go after Paul's life, or do you take out Chandra because Chandra will end it?
I think it's tough.
Paul is low, so I mean the 2 to his life seems okay, but Chandra also will just end the game for him.
We can activate our Hissing Quagmire, or we could just I think I like this play. A little bit more. Flip Den Protector, and
Hissing Quagmire is a
get back a Zulaport Cutthroat. That way we attack Paul here, and that way we
he
present lethal with 2 threats essentially.
Yep.
Yeah, really well played game here by Chris. I thought this matchup going in would be a little bit tough for him, but as we can see, Paul kind of scratching his head a bit. The
only thing,
how did this all happen?
Paul also hasn't had the goggles he's been looking for.
Yeah, I think we saw that last game where Goggles really took over that game.
Goggles did take over the game.
As Pyromancer's goggles tend to do. Do you have a pun you're gonna make?
I do.
All right, let's
It
hear
was
it.
mind goggling.
Mind goggle. Oh boy, they warned me about this, folks. I knew it was coming. Yeah, I was actually gonna pretend not to get all your puns. I think that would have been my best route.
We have Fall.
Yeah, follow the Titans for 1. Gonna take out the Zulaport Cutthroat.
Put him to 2. Putting Paul to 2 and Chris back to 24.
And then we can minus Chandra here.
And clear minus for 2. Get rid of everything. The only thing that's bad here is if Paul does not have removal for the Hissing Quagmire, he's just dead to the Quagmire. So.
I believe there's a Wandering Femur also.
Oh, okay.
That will keep him alive for a turn.
Well, you can keep his Wandering Femoral as a. Nope, it'll die because of the death touch.
Because of the death touch. So yeah, as we see, Chris just not willing to commit anything else to the board, looking to get it done. And did Paul not have the mana to activate?
Paul,
I believe it costs 4. I don't.
Oh, we'll see.
Yeah, I'll assume that Paul didn't have the mana to activate it. That was probably us missing it, but yeah, Chris McKinney ties it up here.
There's a Wandering Femoral over in that sack. Where's
Well, it does cost 4 to activate.
Does? Okay. Hey, he could have still activated. He just couldn't block.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to game 3.
No sideboard changes for either. It looks like.
Yeah, just so if you're shuffling right up. I guess the stuff you brought in on the draw.
If you'll find enough with it already for game 3, no changes.
I think if I was Chris though, I don't know how well this deck actually takes out some number of Collected Company, but we saw the Dispel, and I mean the power level of that card might be high enough.
I think you still just want to jam all the Collected Companies.
As opposed to just completely negating a card.
Yeah, like you just have to take the risk of getting it countered, I think.
Yeah.
I think if you're Paul here, I definitely think the blue-red, I mean, considering it's considered control, I think blue-red, like most decks, are better on the, just seems a lot better to be on the play than on the draw.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, when you're playing, you know, your mountain on turn 1, and they play a bunch of dudes, like being able to kill everything on tempo is huge for this deck.
I would agree. I think the biggest thing, one of the bigger things I think Paul just wants to avoid also is just if Chris gets double Cutthroat down, it makes a lot of Paul's all of his Kozilek's returns subpar. You get rid of the board, but with only and we have a mulligan from Paul. But
actually, Kozilek's returns a card. People are kind of shying away from it as you're trying to beat humans and Band Company. It's decent against humans. If they have the always watching out, it's a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But against Band Company, you know, there's too many 2/3s in the format where it just doesn't.
I know what you're talking about. I'm playing Jundin Standard right now, and I'm playing Kolaghan's Command, which is just really awkward.
Yeah.
Most of the time. A lot of times I've noticed that I'd rather just have them discard and get some creature back from my graveyard, because I just can't hit any other creatures effectively. I do believe we see a Den Protector, at least a Visionary. I can only see so much in Chris's hand, but I think we have
I'm assuming a pretty healthy amount of 2-drops in this deck.
Yeah, I think I saw a Cutthroat as he was flicking through. So
I think we might see the Elvish Visionary here on this turn, but certainly a wealth of options for Chris.
Yeah, I think we definitely see the Visionary this turn. What else does he? Can't. I mean,
Yeah, it looks like he's favoring that Visionary though.
let's see. Paul does have the plays the turn 2 thing in the ice. Nope.
We play a Transgress
It's
the
the
Mind.
mind.
His mind is getting transgressed, and we can only take one card. So there we go.
I guess we're
And
getting.
it's a good one too.
It is a solid card to get rid of here. What else? It looks like it has a Drown Your Temple. And what is the third card? I see the Fall of Titans.
Looks like a land. Couldn't really get a good look at it with the glare. Might have been a Highland Lake.
Could have been.
Yeah, might have been the Highland Lake.
Alright, so we have Chris.
And there, okay.
He
there it
could
is.
be playing. He could play. What? Oh, nope. Blister Pod here into Visionary.
Called it.
Could draw the card. Next turn, we could either see Den Protector come down as a morph. I doubt that it would. Could see
Yeah,
a
I don't think we'll
Cutthroat
see.
though.
I think we're trying. If we're gonna play a Den Protector, we're gonna.
We're gonna want to get a collector company back.
We're gonna utilize it as well on the turn we play it. As we see, looks like a pitching of Drown Your Temple to Tormenting Voice.
Synergy.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a combo. I think we use the word combo like incorrect all the time when you. I think synergy is the better word.
Synergy is a better word.
Yeah, synergy is a better word. I just like going combo.
I'd rather be yelling Wombo combo, but this is a format where we're not Wombo comboing really.
No, not really. Although the green black Aristocrats deck, a little bit of it. Kind of a combo deck. Lots of creatures encrypted with rights. Combo.
Good synergy, but
combo.
Yeah.
So
we have Paul discarding his Drown Your Temple, draw 2 cards, play a land, pass. Chris is.
Yeah, the Thing in the Ice has done a really good job of holding off. It's done a really good job in Standard of holding off a lot of creatures.
All the 2/3s.
All the 2/3s, all the 1/1s. Looks like there's a Fleshback Marauder in Chris's hand there. I think
seems super solid here.
Yeah, seems very
sack
very
the
good
Blister Pod, get a Scion.
Is that a combo? Tell me that's a combo.
That's synergy. That's just synergy.
Oh,
I can't call it combo.
Give me something. Give me one. You can't even give me one combo. As,
we'll give it combo.
Paul takes one.
We'll give it combo whenever he plays Liliana in a Fleshbag Marauder, sack of Fleshbag Marauder, flip Liliana, -3 Fleshbag Marauder.
Oh, that's just synergy.
That's combo. That's combo.
Yeah, so if you're Paul here, you've done a good job staying alive. There's another Thing in the Ice. I was going to say, yeah, just kind of looking to play something to the board. You can't just kill creatures forever. And, yeah, Thing in the Ice is going to do a pretty good job of that, staving off.
Keeping the 3/1 Flashback Marauder back. You see.
Oh, there's a Surge Fall of the Titans. We're going to take out 2 creatures. Yep. Really nice play by Paul. Would you agree?
I would agree with that. Sorry, too focused.
Yeah, you know I actually have to compensate.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I
know you wanted to sit here and watch Magic.
Paul did pay 1 life on that to the Shivan Wraith.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Chris McKinney, draw of Collected Company. Seems like a pretty good time to cast it.
Definitely seems solid before Paul can.
Yeah, untap and have any sort of counterspell available to him.
Yeah, I mean I know Paul has 1 card in hand. I think that we can't see. Yeah, definitely concerned. Paul only has a mountain open.
Mm-hmm.
Chris just checking to make sure he knew what that last card was.
Yeah, let's hope Chris actually hits some creatures this time.
He's hitting a Cutthroat at least.
Yeah, it looks like a Cutthroat and a Liliana.
Yep.
So 2 pretty good hits.
Paul is actually a 17. Might have missed the shiv and reef activation earlier. Most
Would that be
likely.
considered an activation? Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
Yeah, well, I know what you mean.
yeah. He's paying a life to get that mana. But like I was saying here, I think definitely for Paul, like I was saying earlier, while Chris is getting back on the mana, if Chris like the ultimate price, but also if Chris just gets Tooth Cutthroat down, if they get eliminated, they both get taken out at one time. But if Paul gets rid of all of Chris's creatures, he's paying a lot of life to do it.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, Chris can usually just recur it back somehow.
Yeah, I think this type of long game definitely favors Paul as we see him get back the Drowned Catacomb. I think we're going to see a Chandra coming down here real soon.
Or Goggles.
Or Goggles to draw. Yeah, also a decent spot for the Goggles. Yeah, no real way for Chris to deal with that card.
No naturalizes anywhere?
No sort of naturalize effect anywhere.
Definitely would suggest naturalize, especially with the Goggles running around. Because in the Pro Tour, we are actually seeing the red-green Goggles.
Yeah, we've seen 2 different types of Goggles decks now.
Mind-goggling numbers.
You already made that.
I already used that one, but it was good for round 2, for our second round.
Yeah.
But there are definitely enough.
I think you might be goggle-necked on jokes.
I am getting goggle-necked on jokes.
Yeah. Okay, I get one. I get one per round.
All right.
And that was it. I think that might have been a waste.
That probably was a waste.
Yeah, I was like we're seeing Nantuko Husk for Chris. No 4th land if he has any collected companies in hand, but yeah, we're gonna swing in there for 3 again. Dropping Paul to 11.
Definitely, Paul really can't do anything with Liliana now because Chris can always respond and stack Nantuko Husk to itself, flip Liliana.
Yeah, Nantuko Husk was a good play for Chris.
All right, we have Chris playing Tormenting Voice, discarding.
I believe that was Tormenting Voice, discarding whatever that card is.
That card.
Just a magmatic insight. It's just a brain fart, but
I mean, that seems.
We're gonna draw 4 cards.
I'm not gonna lie. That almost seems like an awkward discard. Like you almost want to hope to draw into a land to magmatic. Well, I mean, you can't double cast it because you've already used your Goggles this turn. But
yeah, so we're getting 4 cards either way, and we're losing a card either way.
All right, and we have a Jace and another thing in the ice.
That's what happens when you draw 4 cards sometimes.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, so like we were saying, we thought the long game favored Paul. We can definitely see him Paul ahead, but now he has to win, and right around 2 minutes. So we'll see if he can get it done, and we'll see if Chris can actually put him away too.
This round's gone by fast. I didn't even realize I only had 2 minutes left.
Time flies.
Time flies. Let's see. The awkward thing for Chris here is he's only had 3 lands this game. And I mean, as you can
the Scion to cast Collected Company.
Using the Scion to cast Collected Company, and he's still ahead. Life total wise, doesn't necessarily always mean a lot, but keeping pressure on Paul with only 3 lands.
So I guess we're getting word about some lag. We're sorry for that. There's we're gonna try our best to correct that for the next round.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. We're gonna try to get that issue resolved. We knew we were having a little problems with that when we started, but
yeah, we actually we ran a test run last night, and actually we had no problems with this. So
it could also be that last night it was later, and in terms of just the other stores around using a bandwidth, now stores are open and such. Could be using that. And also, we have downstairs, we have so many people down there. Could be choking up bandwidth just from all the vendors running and just the store in general. But, alright, so... Alright, so we see a Fleshbag Marauder from Chris.
Yeah, ultimate price actually on the thing in the ice. So we're
Again.
gonna be able to swing in there for 2.
Yeah. I don't think he sacrificed anything to the Antugas.
So yeah, we're talking about this. Okay, yeah, time has just been called. Where our clock was a little bit off. So.
And I do believe, do we have Paul at turn 1?
Yeah, I believe Chris passed at turn 0.
Yep.
That's probably what happened.
So, I'm not sure if Paul can really come out of this unless he hits the... has to hit Fall of the Titans for a lot.
So we were actually right about the zombies. Okay, I thought we were right about that.
Yeah.
The zombies with Kezlek's return. Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, intuitively it made sense. I guess we have a judge at the table, must have missed it.
Yeah, we can go down and after this I'll run down and actually talk to him about it and make sure. Because let's see, what do we have? We have, yep, Fall of the Titans.
Yeah, just trying to clear the board as much as possible. I'm not sure Paul's going to take Chris down to from 25 to 0 in 3 turns, but we can certainly play for a draw if we're Paul.
I mean, it's not really the way you want to start out the event, but
no, absolutely not.
It's still better than a loss.
Now, when you say a draw, does that put you in the Band Company bracket? With all those Band Company mirrors? I think it might.
Band Company. I mean, the deck's super solid. Though the mirror match is
long.
It's long. You gotta buckle up and get ready for that. As you said last night.
I did, yeah. You're still on my lines now.
I'm amateur hour up here. Just stealing other people's lines.
It actually is amateur hour.
It is amateur hour up here. We both.
But, yeah, Duskwatch Recruiter here for Chris. And if Paul doesn't draw anything relevant, this thing's going to flip. And, yeah. We could be seeing, Chris has been stuck on 3 mana this whole game. This maybe turns on his hand a little bit as he so conveniently draws his 4th land on turn 4 of turns. We might be able to see him flip the board a little bit, swing for 3 at the very least, and he might be able to get there. I don't know.
Chris is definitely thinking about it. Of course, neither of these guys do want to go to a draw. No, we have the Cutthroat. Only having to pay 1 black for that because of the flip Duskwatch Recruiter.
Yeah, the Crown Horde Howler.
Oh, you can also play our morphs for only 2 colorless.
Yep, that's true.
I just realized that. So much synergy. Not even I'm not on this list or whatnot, so I'm just noticing these synergies as they go along. Let's see.
Another Duskwatch Recruiter. Yeah, so we're gonna
Nantuko Huskier would have been big too.
Maybe we can trick Paul into killing everything, but if not, it's looking like we're about to call this one a draw.
We did just see Paul take 3 on the front up. And Paul reaches out, cannot wrap it up. Looks like we are going to finish round 1 with Chris McKinney and Paul Mills at a draw. And I will be right back to go down the clock too.
All right, well,
Ryan, about the zombie thing.
That was round 1. Stay tuned for round 2, I guess. We have some commercials lined up for you, but we'll be right back.
I can't hit anything.
Can't hit anything.
hits. 3 hits. I can't hit anything.
It's your turn.